What's up, world? This is America. My name is Hobson McCain,
My name is Mark Ray Redmer.
and we're here today bringing you the international news segment of the week. As always, there's been a lot of international news, a lot of news in general. This administration is very active and they like to keep us on our toes. But one thing that we feel like hasn't been covered necessarily as extensive as it should be is the updates on the North Korea situation. As most people probably know by now, there was a summit where Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump met to discuss the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Now, the results of that summit were broadcasted widely and loudly that Donald Trump had. Some people said he ended the Korean War. That's not true, but he had brought denuclearization to North Korea, and he did something that people have been trying to do for decades, and he accomplished it with his hard-nosed diplomacy and international tactics.
Cool.
Now, in that segment, when we talked about it previously, we brought up the fact that what Donald Trump accomplished in that meeting had been accomplished many times before. That North Korea had agreed to denuclearization. Now, I don't think it's ever been this quick of a turnaround, but usually North Korea agrees to denuclearization, gets something from America or our allies, and then turns around a few years later and just starts trying to build nukes again, right?
Right.
We have just gotten some satellite imaging. The satellite imaging showed that North Korea has finalized the expansion of a key ballistic missile manufacturing site. Now, according to the Trump administration, North Korea just agreed to denuclearize, and I'll quote Donald Trump. Donald Trump said in a rally in Montana, like recently, after the announcement that this facility had been finalized, he said, "We signed a paper saying they're going to denuclearize their whole thing." And this is a quote. He said, "Their whole thing. It's going to all happen."
Yeah,
That,
I mean, like that was what they're trying to do, but they're still building missiles. I shouldn't say they're still building missiles. They just built a new building to produce parts to build missiles.
yeah, and
Build
this
nukes.
this this facility is designed to build, nose cones, just different parts of nuclear warheads to make intercontinental ballistic missiles. Now, why would North Korea continue the development of a facility like that if they didn't plan on continuing the development of ballistic missiles? Now, you could say, oh, they're not going to build nuclear missiles that are going to, you know, intercontinental nuclear missiles.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're just gonna regular missiles.
yeah, I guess they're just going to bomb us with regular missiles. So that's okay, I guess, under this this agreement with Trump. But when asked about it, North Korean officials said this ballistic missile facility has nothing to do with the denuclearization, and it's inappropriate to ask about it. Now that seems like a
How's it
real
inappropriate?
and well, North Korea is they're an authoritarian state, so if they say it's inappropriate, their reporters can't ask about it anymore. Just like Donald Trump doesn't like reporters to ask about the Russia investigation.
He
Says
doesn't
that's
call
all
it.
bogus.
He doesn't call it fake news. He just doesn't let you report it. I'm a little confused as to how they can tell us that it's nothing. Well, not they didn't tell us. They told their reporters. You're saying to not ask about those photos.
Yeah,
I understand them telling their reporters not to report anything about these pictures, but this is an international agreement that you signed, and this is evidence that you're going against it. So I feel like this is something that you have to address, whether it's a matter of national security for you or not. I don't think that it is. I feel like this is a matter of international security, where you have to be a diplomat, you have to be a politician, and Kim Jong Un doesn't seem that he's doing that right now. It seems like he's just doing what he wants to do, like he's always done. And I hate to say that we called it, but you said before that that's what they did. That's what they do. That's what they did. And every time that we've asked them to denuclearize, they don't denuclearize. They don't do it. It's just not. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just to reinforce, there was nothing binding in the agreement that we signed with North Korea, Kim Jong Un, and Donald Trump. The paper that Donald Trump speaks of, there was nothing binding. There were no scheduled inspections. There was no way to enforce the denuclearization. There was no definition of what denuclearization meant. And this is really important because denuclearization can mean, oh, we're going to stop producing nuclear bombs, but we're going to keep the ones we have. Denuclearization can mean, oh, we're going to hand over all of our nuclear bombs that you know about, and we're going to keep some secret ones over here and secret base X. So
It doesn't make any sense for them to get rid of all of the nukes that they just went through all of this again. It doesn't make sense. Like I'm sorry to say it, but I just don't believe that they're going to get rid of their nukes, especially if they're still producing the pieces that they need to make more nukes. I think that the way that is processing in his mind, Kim Jong Un's mind, is that he's done trying to make new nukes. He's done trying to progress with his nuclear missiles because he's fine with the progress that they've made. And they'll continue to operate their military the same way that they've been operating their military. There just won't be any more tests for
and
new missiles.
and another thing that we said was that North Korea's whole goal in obtaining nuclear weapons wasn't to actually utilize them. Like, they're not trying to start a nuclear war or anything. They just want a seat at the world table and to be a part of these discussions. Kim Jong Un has scheduled meetings with leaders in Syria, the president of the United States. He's getting attention internationally. Like, he's on the world stage now. So just like Mark said, do they really have reasons to get more nukes? They kind of got what they wanted. They're debating and talking with all of these huge world powers that previously would just ignore North Korea and just be like, you guys are that little tiny little country over there on that peninsula. Um,
That was the
but
whole point.
but the fact that they have this new facility, and there's satellite images of it of where it was in April and where it is now. It looks like a military base basically, and the fact that they have that means that not only are they happy with the missiles they have now, but they're open to building more. And if they're going to build more missiles, and that means that this agreement that Donald Trump and Kim Jong Un signed just meant absolutely nothing. It was just a publicity stunt. Like the signing of that executive order.
I said before that I couldn't understand why he didn't want to speak on these photos, but you're right. It was for publicity, and I kind of see that now. Kim Jong Un is a pretty smart guy, and I think that he did this to send a message to everybody that they're denuclearizing, but they have nukes. You have to think about it. Like logically, if they had nuclear bombs, where are they going to put them? Are they going to just take them apart and hand them over while we still have our nukes, while everybody else still has theirs? You can't ask them to do that. It just doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah, especially when all they're getting from this
what you gonna do
agreement.
about it?
Yeah, especially when all they're getting for this agreement is you know, the America and South Korean forces not doing military exercises anymore, and removing American forces from the Korean Peninsula. And actually, they didn't. Oh yeah, they did agree to move American forces from the American Peninsula, but that's you're gonna give up your nukes for that. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. Um,
They did that so that there wouldn't be tension there. That's a good way to relieve tension. They have their nukes and we've removed our troops from over there, so they're not doing what we didn't want them to do anymore, and we're not pressing them like we were by doing our exercises right next door to them. So
yeah,
that
and
should alleviate some of the tension. But denuclearizing, like we said before, you have to think about it in their terms, because denuclearizing in Donald Trump's in mind, it seems like he wants them to just get rid of all of their nukes. He just doesn't want them to have any nuclear bombs anymore. After they've been testing nukes, they've been trying to make no nukes. They've been doing everything they can to get nuclear bombs. That was the entire purpose of them having this sit down, was to stop them from trying to get more nukes and trying to be a nuclear superpower.
yeah,
They are a nuclear superpower.
and to that point,
And
before the summit took place, the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that Trump would reject any offer that was less than complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization. That was what they were going into the summit looking at as success. Like that would have been successful if they got that.
I
This
don't
is
think
what
he
they
got that.
have: the development of a new site where they can develop intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Kim
Um,
Jong Un is not dumb. He knew that they could take pictures of it. He didn't hide it. It wasn't hidden by trees. It was just like he could
yeah,
have put it in a more subtle spot. If he wanted to hide it, that's not a secret base. You could
but
just see it from a plane.
I don't. There's no terms in the agreement that says any way that America can enforce any of these rules. So
Yeah,
what
that's the
incentive
point.
does what incentive does Kim Jong Un have to not keep developing testing sites and nuclear weapons? He doesn't, because
Yeah,
he's
he's
gonna get,
testing it.
he's gonna have Donald Trump calling him names again. Kim Jong Un don't care about that. He doesn't. Now
And
to
nobody wants a nuclear war.
Yeah, no, nobody wants
He
a
knows
nuclear.
that.
I don't
He
even
knows
think
that.
I don't think Kim Jong Un wants a nuclear war.
He knows that. He doesn't want a nuclear war, but he knows that. Yeah, he has nukes now. So if it comes down to it, nobody wants a nuclear war. So we're just going to have to talk to him. We can't bully North Korea anymore. And that's the point that he's trying to make
yeah,
with these pictures. He's saying you can't bully me into doing what you want me to do, Donald Trump. Period. And that's that. Now, if you wanted to escalate, it could escalate. But the U.S. is a lot bigger than North Korea. And honestly, the U.S. has a lot more to lose. So, what's up? We both got news. That's
yeah.
what he said.
I mean that's a fact. And to be fair, the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is did just get sent to Pyongyang to define the terms of denuclearization, and get an official list of the testing sites that they have now.
Okay. You should give
So
him that. He'll give it to him.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he won't. But the thing is, they're relying on North Korea to just disclose all of this information.
We
When
close all
how there's no way to verify that this is the full list of sites. There's no way to verify. I mean, you can define the terms of denuclearization. What does denuclearization mean for North Korea and the North Korean Peninsula? But I feel like if you're going to broadcast that, like the Trump administration has done, and pump it up to that this administration and Trump have done something historic and ended all tension in the Korean Peninsula. Like, if you're gonna pump it up that much, I would think you would have defined the term denuclearization in the first meeting with the leader of the country that you're talking about. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why they would do that.
I don't understand it either. I
And,
don't understand how they sit there and talk about denuclearization and not be talking about the same thing.
yeah,
Uh,
it's just I feel like a lot of it is Trump's in a like you said with when we talk about the Russia investigation. Trump has an inability to withhold certain statements. Like I believe that Trump doesn't. He I don't think Trump reads off of the little teleprompters on the TV that
no,
most newscasters read off of. They might have one for him because
it's not.
if they did and he was reading off of them, they would have corrected a lot of these, public
There's
speaking
no way
errors that he's making.
Donald Trump reads off of a teleprompter.
Yeah, no, I mean, he in that same rally in Montana, he made fun of the Me Too movement, and attacked Maxine Waters again. Like,
You want to? You can't do that. You want to know what let me know that he didn't read off a teleprompter? When he was on the campaign trail, he said, "Look at my African American over there. Aren't you the greatest?" Nobody wrote that down.
yeah, no,
I
The-
know nobody wrote that down.
he because he has enough money to hire a proper political
Nobody wrote that.
writer that can make a speech that is not blatantly offensive. Like,
Like, come on, bro.
um,
Look at
so I mean, and we're not trying to talk about all his offensive statements that he's made. Well, we can, but we're not. That's not the purpose of this
that's not the point.
segment.
Different
But
video. Different.
you know, he doesn't have any restraint. And we've seen that time and time again. He just says the first thing that comes into his head. So he got back from North Korea, and actually I don't think they held in North Korea, but he got back from the summit and said, "We have just denuclearized the North Korean peninsula, done something that no other administration has ever done before." When there's literally historical, like you can, a 6-year-old can Google it and find out that that's a lie. Has anybody else denuclearized North Korea? Google it. Yeah, look it up. And they're like, they've been doing it since the late 1980s. So,
And this time they have nukes.
Yeah, and this time they actually have the missiles. So like,
so it's a little bit different. You can't just tell them to do what you want them to do, because they're gonna say no.
Yeah. No. So it's interesting to see where this is gonna go. With Mike Pompeo in North Korea, this is a big turning point for this relationship that's developing. Because, I guess theoretically North Korea could divulge all their information, everything, all their testing sites, and say, "Oh, come denuclearize us, America." But I have reasons to believe that's not going to happen. I don't think they would have wasted so much money in the past few weeks to finalize this testing site if they had plans to just have it, shut down. So
who's going to do anything about it?
There's nothing that says anybody can do anything about it. So that's kind of the problem. But anyway, let us know your thoughts. Is North Korea just lying to us and bending our president to their will,
I think we should leave them alone.
Yeah, should we leave them alone? I don't know. So comment y'all's opinions, like, share, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff. And we're gonna catch you guys next time. Be good.